Welcome back, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving to y'all. While you're spending time with friends, family, and loved ones, stuffing your face full of turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, and my favorite French silk pie, I'm going to review a piece of gear that I brought with me out on the JMT, and that is the solar panel from Renogy. Now, this is Renogy's E.Flex 5-watt solar panel, and I chose this specific model to really supplement my Anchor battery brick while I was out on the JMT, really to test it out and see if this is something that I would bring on a PCT thru hike. Now, the specs on this thing checks in at 6.4 ounces. It's really lightweight, which is the reason why I went with this thing. It's one panel. There is no cover like you would see with a lot of other solar panels that's going to really protect it. And it's got nothing else on the back except for the port to plug in your USB. With a lot of other panels, you'll see like a little pocket down here, but this has got none of that, no bells and whistles, very simple design, and wanted to take you through my thoughts while I tested it out on the JMT for 12 days. If your intentions of bringing this out on the trail is to suffice charging multiple devices, it's probably not going to happen. Now, I tested this thing on a few different gadgets that I always bring on my thru hikes. My DeLorme InReach Explorer that I use as my GPS out on the trail that people can use to track me. Plus, I can also communicate with folks if I don't have a cell phone signal. My Garmin Fenix 5 GPS watch, I wear it every day, but it comes with me on every single backpacking adventure. And of course, my iPhone 7 Plus, which I use this thing to do all my filming out there while I'm on the trail. Now, most of the time while I was on the trail, I actually used the solar panel to charge my GPS device because it worked out really well. It was really convenient. I attached this to my mesh pouch on my pack and ran a micro USB cord up from the mesh over my shoulder where I always stow my DeLorme InReach Explorer, and I would just plug it in while I would hike. So it worked out really well. It was really convenient. Actually, it did a really decent job with just powering my GPS device. The first day that I used it, I started this with about 75% battery. I think it was sometime in about day number 2, middle of day number 2. And after 6 hours, it went from 75% up to 88%. So I charged this thing 13% in about 6 hours. Now keep in mind that I had this on the entire time. I was setting tracking points each and every hour. Typically in a 6-hour period, I probably use about 10% of my battery on this thing. So in about that 6-hour period, it probably charged this close to 25%. Now with any solar panel, what is paramount is the direction of which it is sitting in comparison with the sun. During the time that I got that 25% on my GPS, I was directly, or most of the time, directly in the path of the sun. Now, one thing that I didn't do out there on the trail was adjust the location of where I put this thing so that it was always in the direct line of the sun. It just kind of seemed cumbersome to me, so all the time it was on my back, and there were multiple times that I was not even in any direct path of the sun, so that definitely makes a huge difference of where you place this thing on your pack. Now, the rest of the thru hike, during the times I was actually hiking, I kept my USB cord hooked up to my GPS device, hooked up to my panel, so I always had a constant charge. And during the course of my thru hike, I never went below 95 to 90% battery on my GPS device. So it really did a great job with just kind of supplying the battery power that I needed to run my GPS device. Now, there was a day that I actually experimented with my panel and charging my iPhone. I ended the day a little early and charged my iPhone about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I was able to get about a 9% charge. Now, the panel was in the direct path of the sun. I had it angled right, so it was getting the maximum exposure. 9%, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Now, another thing I did attempt was to charge my Anchor device. Now, it's a big Anchor device. It's a 20,100 milliamp battery brick. And most of the time that I hooked it up to the device, it didn't recognize the charge. So I don't know that this would be something that you could use to charge your backup battery brick. It's something that will be able to really supplement, or if you have just a small few electronics you're bringing with you out on the trail, like a GPS device, fantastic job with being able to keep the power that you need to keep this thing running during the time that you're out on the trail. Now, the durability of this panel with not having a cover to really protect it was something I was impressed with. You know, this was on my back the entire time, and there were times I took on my pack and set it down and it fell over a rock or it brushed against trees, whatever it might be. And there are definitely some scratches and there's some wear on the outer edges, but I thought that it held up pretty well with the abuse that I put it through on the trail. Now, one of the things about this solar panel I did not like was how tight of the fit that sticking your USB charger inside the device was. It was really, really tight, so tight that when I was on the trail, it was towards the end of my journey, but I yanked on the cord to pull it out of the USB. I didn't grab it by its neck, and it actually ripped my USB right out. It separated the cartridge from the USB port, which basically made my USB useless, and I was not able to use the panel to charge my GPS device for the last couple days because I didn't have another micro USB with me. So that's something that you definitely want to make sure you take into consideration, is be careful when you unplug your USB in this. It is really, really tight. Now, would I personally take this with me out on the PCT? Maybe. I could see myself downgrading my anchor from the 20,000 to the 10,000, and the weight savings that I would make up would be enough to fill this in. So basically, with this being 6.4 ounces and the 10,000 anchor milliamp is about 6.2, 6.3, it equates to the weight of my Anchor 20,000 backup battery brick. I would use this to charge my GPS device, and if I got in camp early enough, I would have this sitting out every single moment of daylight, charging either my GPS watch or my phone as well. Now, there are a lot of folks that have bought this thing on Amazon like I did, and there are lots of great ratings, and there are a lot of ratings that aren't so great. I had a pretty good experience with this device out on the trail, but there are a lot of folks that had issues with different phones and being able to get a charge off this. So before you go out and purchase this, I would just go do a little research, read some of the comments, some of the reviews to make sure that the phone that you're bringing is something that this will be compatible with based on the experience of others. So that wraps up my review of the Renogy E.Flex 5-watt solar panel. Now, because it's Thanksgiving, I want to give back to you guys, and I'm going to give away 2 of these solar panels. If you're familiar with my gear giveaways, I am starting to do them every single month. This is my 2nd month I'm doing this. And if you want to get in on the gear giveaway, become a member of my Patreon community. Patreon is a website that is used to help support creators. You can pledge as little as $1 and get on monthly gear reviews. In addition to that, there are lots of other rewards that I offer with different levels. So let's go ahead and give these things away right now.
Now I have my computer in front of me here, and I got all of your guys' names, all 43 patrons that are in good standing with me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just randomly select 2 people. So the first person that's going to win the solar charger here is Laura. Congratulations, Laura. You just won the Renogy solar panel. I'll reach out to you and get your address, make sure it's the one that you gave me. And the second person that is winning today is Ken. Congratulations, Ken.
So congratulations to both of the winners of the gear giveaway. As a matter of fact, Ken just became a patron in October, and he only pledges $1 a month. That's all it takes. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do so. Just click on that little icon below, hit subscribe. I have a lot of great content coming up here in the upcoming months, and videos I've already published. It's going to help you on your upcoming thru hikes. Stay tuned for many more sightings, and remember to always follow Bigfoot.